There were two groups of staff at the heart of our project. From the NHS side, we had people from the Health and Social Care Partnership in Western Bartonshire, and those were the people who were frontline. The district nurses, social care staff, all led by Val, and they were responsible for much of the contact with patients and also with the recruitment of patients to the study. From the university side, we had staff from the University of the West of Scotland, from the School of Health Nursing Midwifery, and those were academics who provided much of the academic underpinning for the project. And it was a great team to work together because we had a core of individuals who could see the benefit of this project from the point of view of the patient and from the staff involved as well. And so it was a very enjoyable project to work in. So you had the university people bringing the academic underpinning, but you had the staff from the Health and Social Care Partnership bringing that frontline experience that was so important to the study. As university academics, it's important that we don't become isolated in ivory towers. So having that contact with frontline staff makes a real difference to us. And I hope as well that that made a real difference to the staff from the Health and Social Care Partnership. I should probably give a little bit of background about the study itself. We were very much interested in looking at people who are living with an indwelling urinary catheter in the community. Now, there's a range of people that need this device for a variety of reasons, but we know from the literature that there are a number of problems with these devices that can arise. So what we wanted to do was to look at the education and training of staff who were supporting patients who had these devices, but also look at the information that was available to the patients themselves and their carers to see how that could be used to improve the life of the patient. The initial phase of the project was all of the planning, ethical approval, the logistics of getting the project off the ground. Once we were off the ground, we were looking for key bits of information. The first thing was the instance of call-outs for urinary catheter issues in the community in Western Bartonshire. So we did that over a 2-month period. We also interviewed patients, informal carers and professional staff from the service in the Health and Social Care Partnership, and asked them a series of questions around about the management of urinary catheters and also education training and what they knew about what might happen with that device. We took all this information together and we looked for themes within the data that would hopefully tell us what the main issues were for everybody within that group. So not only the patients, but the health and social care staff and the carers. And we found some key themes that came out of that. Not what we expected, which I think is always a very good thing in research, but some key themes that we hope will make a difference towards the care of these patients in the future. First of all, we have developed an information leaflet for patients and their carers. Now that, I hope, is going to go into use very shortly. The reason we focused on that was that the information that came back from the patients, the carers and the professional staff was very clear. There was plenty of information and education available to professional staff, but that was not the case for patients and their carers. So that was a very obvious focus for us moving forward. So the patient information leaflet is already prepared, and that has been written based on the evidence from the participants in the study. So it's evidence-based, targeted at the problems that the patients themselves are told us they come up against. I think it's always quite overwhelming when you actually go and meet patients. Talking as an academic who doesn't normally get to do that, and coming from a clinical background, it was quite sobering. There was a range of experiences from the very good to the quite distressing, and that was very, very interesting to see, and it was very rewarding as well. It's amazing that these patients, these people, with some of the things that they have to put up with in their care, and with the underlying medical conditions, that they have such a positive attitude. The study that was funded by QNAS has led to a number of other initiatives that we're just starting to look at. So for instance, we're hoping to follow on and evaluate the patient information leaflet within the service. So look at it after it's been in place for probably at least 6 months, and to see whether or not that has impacted on the call-outs for urinary catheter issues. The other thing that we're hoping to do is to look at the possibility of a trial on washout solutions for catheters. That's something that we're taking up with the Health and Social Care Partnership in Western Bartonshire, the University of the West of Scotland, but also with the University of Stirling and Glasgow Caledonian University. The third thing is we have a PhD student which is with University of the West of Scotland, which is funded by the university and also allied to the project. So there are a number of projects which are coming off this project, which was funded by QNIS.